Attention passionate Seattle SCHNEIDER fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SCHNEIDER fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Hold on tight because what I'm about to tell you could be a game changer for the Seahawks and the entire NFC West. Rumors are swirling around that the Green Bay Packers, currently in rebuild mode with a record of 4-3 and a defense that's been leaking points at an alarming rate, 26 points per game, might be looking to shake things up before the trade deadline. And guess who's at the center of this potential blockbuster? Xavier McKinney, the versatile safety from the Packers, could soon find himself donning the Seahawks jersey. That's right, and the trade scenario is pretty wild. The Packers, facing cap issues with about $11 million in space, are reportedly prepared to send McKinney to Seattle in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and Rick Woolen, the rising star cornerback. Now, this move makes a ton of sense for Seattle. Woolen, who's been a bright spot on the Seahawks secondary, has shown flashes of elite talent with a PFF grade of 79.6. But what the Seahawks really need right now is a boost in their pass defense, especially with some recent injuries and inconsistencies. Their secondary has been vulnerable, ranking 28th in passing yards allowed at 248 yards per game. That's a significant weakness when you're trying to contend for deep playoff runs. Adding Xavier McKinney, a player who's been recognized as a Pro Bowler in 2024 with a stellar PFF grade of 92, could turn the tide. Let's talk a bit about McKinney. He's a player who's been on the rise and his stats back that up. Over his career, he's accumulated 312 tackles, 12 interceptions, and 28 pass deflections. In 2025, he's exploded with 48 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 8 pass deflections. His coverage grade of 91.4 is among the best in the league, and he's been noted for allowing a completion percentage of just 52, with broken tackles numbering 14. Yes, he's a versatile safety who can play close to the line or drop back into coverage seamlessly. Even with an ankle injury that limited his snaps to just 82% in Week 4, his impact on the field has been undeniable. NFL.com highlighted some of his defensive touchdowns and his ability to allow minimal yards after catch, just 3.2 yards per attempt. That's elite, folks. The Packers, on the other hand, are in a different position. They're clearly in a rebuild, and with Aaron Rodgers gone and Jordan Love still finding his footing, his QBR of 85. One isn't bad, but the team's OL has been a mess, allowing 25 sacks. There's a sense that they're looking at the future rather than immediate success. They're aiming to rebuild their defense and secondary, especially with Woolen, who's been a bright spot with a PFF grade of 79.6, similarly showing promise but still developing. The idea is to use Woolen to rebuild their secondary, which has been a liability this season. But that's where things get interesting for Seattle. The Seahawks, sitting at 5-2, are already showing their contenders, but their secondary's vulnerabilities have been exposed time and again. With McKinney, they could significantly improve their pass defense, potentially elevating from 28th to somewhere in the top 8. That kind of improvement would make a huge difference as they gear up for the playoffs. Their current secondary, with Witherspoon and now McKinney, could form a formidable duo. Witherspoon, who's been playing at an elite level with a PFF grade of 88.7, would benefit greatly from McKinney's versatility and ball-hawking skills. Imagine the possibilities: an aggressive, physical secondary that can cover tightly, create turnovers, and shut down the best quarterbacks in the league. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. The Seahawks' defensive stats are already trending upward, but adding McKinney could be the final piece to turn their defense into a top-tier unit. Their pass defense allows an average of 248 yards per game, which is too high for a team with playoff aspirations. McKinney's ability to perform in coverage, combined with his tackling and playmaking skills, would provide that extra layer of security they need. Plus, with the offensive side still evolving, especially with JSN emerging as a reliable target with a PFF grade of 86.3 and Lockett's veteran presence, the Seahawks are building a balanced team. The turnover boost, which is projected to be +1. 2 interceptions per game with McKinney could be the catalyst that pushes them into the elite ranks. Now I want to highlight something very important. This potential trade isn't just about adding a good player, it's about shaping the future of the Seahawks. McKinney's speed, clocking at around 4-5 seconds for the 40-yard dash, makes him a perfect fit for today's NFL, which values speed and versatility in the secondary. His ability to play multiple roles, cover safety, box safety, or even a hybrid linebacker role, gives Pete Carroll and the coaching staff a lot of tactical flexibility. It's reminiscent of the legendary Legion of Boom era, where players like Sherman, Thomas, and Chancellor created a dominant, intimidating defense that struck fear into offenses across the league. With McKinney and Witherspoon forming a shutdown duo, the Seahawks could be on their way to reestablishing a similar identity, one that's aggressive, physical, and relentless. And the timing couldn't be better. According to Adam Schefter and other league insiders, there's a palpable buzz around the league as the trade deadline approaches, set for November 4th. The Packers, who are clearly not in a rush to extend Jordan Love's contract, his current QBR of 85. And the overall performance of their offensive line, which has allowed 25 sacks, show that they're more interested in rebuilding for the future. They're focusing on developing their young talent and getting draft picks that can help them rebuild from the ground up, much like the Bears did after the Williams era. For the Packers, trading Woolen and a first-round pick, especially in a draft class that could be loaded with talent, makes sense as they try to reset their roster. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, this trade isn't just about improving the secondary. It signals a clear statement of intent. They're serious about contending, and they're willing to make bold moves to maximize their Super Bowl chances. With the offensive core developing, JSN's rise with an 86. 3 PFF grade and Lockett still reliable, the defense has to keep pace. The addition of McKinney could be the spark that ignites a championship push, especially considering how well he fits into Pete Carroll's aggressive defensive philosophy. It's a move that could have ripple effects, not just for this season, but for the next few years as well. Now, some might wonder about the impact on team chemistry or the adjustment period, but McKinney's experience and versatility should make that transition smoother. He's a player who's shown he can handle pressure and adapt to different schemes. And from the Seahawks' perspective, they're getting a proven playmaker who's still in his prime, ready to contribute immediately. The chemistry with Witherspoon and the rest of the secondary could be built quickly, especially with the Seahawks' emphasis on team cohesion and resilience. Plus, the potential cap savings of around $14 million will give Seattle some flexibility to tweak other parts of their roster before the deadline. It's fascinating to see how these moves are shaping the landscape of the NFL, especially in the NFC West. The Seahawks are making bold decisions, and it seems like they're not just trying to compete, they're aiming to dominate. This trade scenario, if it comes to fruition, could be remembered as one of the defining moments of the 2025 season, a move that redefines the Seahawks' identity and propels them towards Super Bowl contention. The NFC West, which has been a fierce battleground with teams like the 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals, might soon see a shift in power dynamics. The Seahawks, with their talent, strategic moves, and now this potential addition, are positioning themselves as serious contenders once again. And let's keep in mind, the NFL is all about timing. The trade deadline is approaching fast, and teams are scrambling to improve their rosters. If Seattle manages to pull this off, it will send a loud message to the rest of the league. They're here to stay, and they're ready to fight for another Lombardi trophy. McKinney's ability to produce game-changing plays, combined with his leadership and football IQ, could be the X factor that tips the scales in their favor come playoff time. And for the Packers, this is part of a larger rebuild effort, focusing on the future even if it means parting ways with a talented player like McKinney. So, Seahawks fans, what do you think about this potential move? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing Xavier McKinney in that Honolulu blue and green? Do you believe it will make the Seahawks a more complete team and give them that extra edge? I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments. This is the kind of move that could define a season, and I know you all are just as passionate about this team as I am. I'll be keeping a close eye on the trade developments in the coming days, so stay tuned because the Seahawks are always making headlines, and this could be one of their most impactful moves yet. Remember, the NFL is unpredictable, but one thing is for sure, Seattle is not backing down, and they're gearing up for a playoff run that could go all the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with more updates, insights, and deep dives into everything Seahawks. Stay loud, stay proud, and let's keep that passion alive.